Tech employees laid off globally.
In 2023, the tech world was sold a prophecy that felt like a death sentence for an entire industry. Leading researchers predicted that AI would replace up to 80% of software developers by 2025. We were told the future was agentic, that we'd have digital coworkers who never slept, never complained, and never produced bugs.
Guys, this genuinely pisses me off because I've got friends trying to break into tech and the door just keeps getting more narrower and narrower. And when headlines start throwing numbers like 80% replaced, that doesn't just shape expectations, it shapes hiring decisions.
2024 ended with a staggering 152,000 tech employees laid off globally. By the first quarter of 2025, tech giants like Intel and Amazon cut an additional 30,000 corporate roles to, quote, realign for an AI-centric future.
Let me get y'all here based on what I know. The more employees the company carries, the heavier the cost. So the second AI starts looking like cheaper labor, cutting employees start looking like boosting profit instead of fixing a problem. Truth be told, in an ideal world, companies would love output without payroll. If every role can generate value without compensation, benefits, or fatigue, profits wouldn't just grow, they'd explode.
The narrative was that machines would write all code by the middle of this decade. Google CEO Sundar Pichai even noted in late 2024 that over 25% of Google's new code was AI generated. Reuters and The Guardian have highlighted that AI-assisted development is fueling a global crisis. By trying to save money on developers today, companies have essentially taken out a high-interest loan on their future, and the interest is about to bankrupt them.
Y'all see the bigger tension here, right? If companies keep shrinking payroll in the name of efficiency, fewer people have income, and that eventually circles back as weaker demand for the very products these companies depend on.
The 2025 Veracode Gen AI report reveals that 45% of AI-generated code contains OWASP top 10 vulnerabilities. In Java, the security failure rate now exceeds 72%.
This for all my developer homies. Y'all know exactly how this loop starts. AI makes things faster at first, then suddenly you're spending more time double checking, patching weird edge cases, and cleaning up code that looked right, but was quietly broken. And the minute execs see things moving faster, AI stops being viewed as help and starts being viewed as a substitute. The problem is, speed can look amazing, while mistakes, weird bugs, and cleanup work quietly stacking up behind the scenes.
Seasoned engineers are now reporting being 19% slower when using AI tools. Why? Because they've become AI babysitters. They spend an average of 11 hours a week just correcting hallucinations, code that looks syntactically correct but contains logical landmines. CodeRabbit recently revealed that AI-generated pull requests contain an average of 10.8 issues, nearly double the 6.4 found in human-written code.
What should worry people is how standards drift. If the imperfect output becomes expected, the extra correction work no longer registers as waste. It just bends into the process.
We aren't speeding up. We're just creating a massive backlog of work for ourselves in the future. But the most damaging effect isn't the code, it's the people. We are currently witnessing what economists call the junior death spiral. Because companies thought AI could handle junior-level tasks, entry-level hiring plummeted by nearly 50% between 2023 and 2025.
Yo, I'm about to keep it 100 with y'all. You can't expect senior level engineers while starving the entry roles that create them. That talent pool doesn't magically refill itself. I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. Don't go telling everybody now. At the end of the day, companies follow the money. And anything that promises more output for less cost gets treated like the smartest move in the room.
Stanford research found that in AI-exposed roles, employment for younger workers has declined significantly, while it has actually increased for workers over 35. We are effectively cutting off the pipeline of future talent. If you don't hire juniors today, you won't have seniors in 5 years. Furthermore, the training wheels are gone.
Man, I can't even lie. I feel bad for everyone trying to break in right now. You're doing everything you're told to do. Learning, building, applying, and the finish line keeps sliding further and further away. Just hang in there. If you're a junior watching this, I hope you get your chance.
In the past, a junior learned by writing boilerplate code. Now, the AI does the boilerplate, and the junior is expected to jump straight into complex architecture. While companies are realizing they need humans, they are also realizing they have the upper hand in the job market for the first time in a decade.
See how different that feels now? Before you earned your stripes on the simple stuff, step by step, building confidence as you went. Now people are expected to handle heavy, complex work without the same runway to grow into it. It's a strange contradiction when you really think about it. We're pushing juniors to climb higher, while quietly removing the lower steps that made the climb possible. For the people already near the top, nothing changes. But for everyone climbing, the path just got steeper and way less forgiving.
Reuters and IT Jobs Watch data for 2026 show a brutal shift in the power dynamic. In the UK and US, median salaries for general software roles have actually dipped by nearly 9% year on year. Why? Because the market is flooded with developers displaced by earlier layoffs. Management is using the narrative of AI productivity as a psychological weapon in salary negotiations.
You thought what you just heard is bad news? Well, here's some more bad news for you. Sorry in advance. It's basic supply and demand. Way more developers are competing for way fewer roles. And the demand itself is shifting because companies aren't choosing just between people anymore. They're weighing humans against AI and automation.
They'll tell a candidate, well, we need a human to oversee the architecture, but since the AI is doing 40% of the heavy lifting, we can't justify those 2022 level salaries. According to Hayes, the average pay increase for tech has barely kept up with inflation. We are entering the era of the low hire, low fire market.
Mr. Wilson, let me ask you something. Since when did a tool helping you work faster become an excuse to pay you less? Because the pay isn't set by how hard something feels. It's set by leverage. And the second companies believe they have more options, whether that's AI or a crowded job market, compensation pressure follows.
Companies aren't firing everyone anymore, but they aren't competing for you with six-figure signing bonuses either. They are waiting for the talent to get desperate.
The collapse of $1.5 billion startup Builder AI has exposed a massive AI washing scheme. Court filings show the company relied on 700 human engineers in India to manually perform tasks marketed as fully autonomous AI.
Bring your ears a little closer. When companies do things like that, it's rarely random. It's pressure talking. Once you promise investors a futuristic AI miracle, walking that back can spook their funding, crash valuations, and threaten the company's entire existence.
The Builder AI scandal, widely reported by Bloomberg, is the ultimate proof of the AI lie. They promised a machine, but they sold a sweatshop. And when the money ran out to pay the humans, the AI died.
What's crazy to me is people don't realize how expensive real AI actually is to run. These systems burn an insane amount of money on servers, power, and infrastructure. So if a company like Builder AI was pretending to be fully automated, the math should have raised eyebrows immediately. And here's the part that really flips the perspective. Even if it had been entirely humans responding behind the scenes, that wouldn't resemble artificial intelligence. It would resemble a support chat where delays, queues, and bottlenecks are unavoidable because people can't simply scale like machines.
But even the real AI tools are failing in spectacular ways. In late 2025, we saw the infamous anti-gravity incident. A developer asked Google's anti-gravity AI to clear a project cache. The AI misread a silent flag and executed a recursive delete on the root directory. It didn't ask for permission. It just wiped a 2 terabyte production drive in seconds.
I need y'all to understand what really happened here. Like, no joke. Deleting the root directory is like basically wiping everything that keeps the system alive. Now imagine a company's entire website, customer data, and internal tools just vanishing without warning.
The AI's response? I made a catastrophic error in judgment. But an apology doesn't bring back months of work. As Forbes pointed out, the industry is finally realizing that AI lacks the one thing essential for software engineering: accountability. So here's the bottom line for 2026. AI didn't replace developers. It replaced the delusion that software development is an easy, automated task.
Crazy part is, when a human makes a mistake, someone's held accountable. When AI does, the damage is real, but the responsibility gets murky fast. But when responsibility gets murky, accountability weakens. If no one clearly owns the mistake, fixing the system becomes slower, political, and far less certain.
The companies winning today are the ones who stopped trying to prompt their way to success and started reinvesting in human architects. We've learned that free AI code is the most expensive debt you can ever take on. And while employers might be using the AI narrative to suppress your wages today,
real talk, think about this for a second. Every this changes everything, Wave somehow ends with the same people carrying the cost. Makes you wonder if tech is rewriting the rules or just revealing how the game's always been played.
their reliance on your ability to fix the AI's mistakes will eventually force the pendulum to swing back.